Hello to all my friends out there. This video is stockpiling for beginners. No stress this way, part 2. Okay, I have told you guys a zillion times the story of a girl who went to Mexico and she went to a polygamy compound. It was one of my salon customers. When she got down there, she was living as a polygamist, and her husband came up to America to work. And while he was gone, an old man came up to her and said, "Ma'am, your daughter is starving." And he gave her a bag of beans, a bag of rice, and gave her some vegetables and told her to plant a garden. So if you've been living up here, that might not even make any sense, and you might not know what to do. So what you want to do is you want to stockpile beans. Okay, this is a recipe you want to get firmly in your mind. Mexicali refried beans. Fry 2 pieces of bacon, remove bacon, reserve a small amount of drippings. Now, if you have chorizo, it's going to make this 100 times better. You add the chorizo, you take it out of the casing and you cook it. You have to be careful. You can't cook your chorizo on too hot of a heat. Furthermore, you want to flavor your bacon drippings with the chorizo. When the chorizo is cooked, you add 1 can of refried beans or black beans or pinto beans. You can use a can, or cooked pinto beans or cooked beans. And you stir them around, and what you're doing is you're cooking those beans in the meat and drippings. Then you want to thin your beans out with milk. Why? Because if you don't have any cheese, so what that's going to give you is it's going to give you fat. If you don't have meat, but you have a little bacon drippings, you're going to have a little fat, and you're going to have a little dairy in your food, because you are going to be in a world of hurt if you have to eat canned beans. Okay. Then I use evaporated milk, and I use evaporated milk in a lot of things, like gravy making. So, okay, you're going to add your milk. If you want a burrito, don't thin your beans down, but if you want to serve them on the side, or you want to eat a little bowl of rice with beans, this is very tasty, then you can make your beans a little bit thinner. So put this one in the back of your mind, but that's going to give you some idea to stockpile beans and canned milk, so you don't run out of dairy. That's going to be really bad. If you don't have any bacon, you can use olive oil. Okay, and then you want to stockpile rice. And I've been doing videos on rice stuff, and someone said, "Can you make a hot dog bowl?" And I know a good hot dog bowl. This is really good. You have rice, and I would use beef aroni, and you can get that cheap at Aldi's, with hot dogs and onion rings. I might make that tonight. We'll see tonight. So you want beans, canned milk, and rice. Okay, now he gave her a bag of vegetables. He gave her vegetables. Okay, now the vegetables that you want, like if you're up here, you might go, "What am I supposed to do with these beans?" Well, you need compatible vegetables, and these vegetables, except for corn, I would start stockpiling those big cans of corn. We could get a corn shortage. So corn, tomatoes in a can, onions, squash, and jalapenos. And we can still get these pretty cheap right now. So when you're eating those beans in a tortilla, you can have a little salsa. So for basic salsa, all you need is onion, cilantro. I buy the big jar of dry garlic. I usually use dry lime juice. This is good to stockpile so you don't get scurvy. Also, you can use your lime juice in your top ramen with hot sauce and a lime juice. Tomato, salt, and jalapeno. You can buy salsa and you can stockpile that too. But this is what you want to get firmly in your mind. Okay, the thing about squash is good, it's pretty easy. Remember the man who told her to plant a garden? Well, you can, now I'm having a terrible time with the squash, but if I had a yard, I could easily grow squash very easily and stockpile dry onion, dry garlic, dry cilantro. And so that is stockpiling part 2.